Hi, what's up, everyone? So, this is Ian from IBI Performance Coaching, and today we're going to be talking about how to get yourself to do something instead of nothing. I don't know about you, but my YouTube channel is filled with people talking about the importance of habits, how to build them, how to make sure they succeed. And this is all justified. The Your life, the nature of your life is in some sense a summation of your habits. Almost anything that you want to achieve in life, if you're going to achieve it, it's going to be on the foundation of habits that move you forward. So habits are absolutely essential. But there's a little bit of a catch to habit formation. And it's a catch that shows up right away. If you have a habit, great, you've got that momentum and you can let it ride. The issue comes, at least for my clients and for me, and probably for a lot of you, with the initial phase. How do you get yourself to do something instead of nothing? Often this will show up in a situation where I have spoken with somebody, with a client, for example. We've identified a high leverage action that they could take in their life to move themselves towards a vision that they have for the future, desired outcome. We've identified when and where they can do this thing, how to make it really easy and approachable. They'll tell me that they are 90% confident that they'll be able to do this, 100% confident even. And then they'll come back the next week and they'll say, I just didn't do it like when it came to it. When it came time to do it, I knew it was time to do it. And I just whiffed. I just couldn't make myself do the new thing. What I want to suggest today is that there is a solution to this. There is a way to take that first step towards building the habits that you need to be successful. And that first step looks a lot like a ritual. Now, talking about habit and ritual, you might wonder what the distinction is. Rightfully so. To my mind, they're very similar, but there is one big distinction. So if you think about the kind of habits that you have, think about something like, how you put on your pants, or how you drive to work, or brushing your teeth. These are very sort of day in, day out. They are meant to achieve a specific outcome, and you just follow the steps. It's like a formula. It's like a recipe. What about ritual? When I say ritual, what kind of things come to mind? For a lot of people, it would be things like related to religion, for example, or when someone dies, like the funeral rites. Those are rituals. When someone's born, when we get married, these are transitionary things. Or with regard to religion, it would be something supernatural. You could also think of athletes who have like a pre-bat ritual or a pre-serve ritual or something that they go through. So if you think about it, really the distinguishing point between ritual and habit is not that there's a bunch of steps to them. It's not that you do the same thing every time. It's not that the order is important. All of these things are shared. It's that rituals are intended to help us mitigate the discomfort associated with uncertainty. Someone dies. Death is the big uncertainty. So we have a ritual. We have steps that we go through in order to mitigate the discomfort that we feel when faced with the uncertainty that is death. Someone's born, same deal. We're staring into the cosmos in a religious sense. We have a ritual. We get married, big transition. What does life as a married person look like? Well, we go through this ritual. And often these rituals are shared, in your society, so that there's even if the transition is to something that is uncertain and new, the ritual is a common knowledge set of symbols that feel familiar. You know this, you've seen it in films, you've seen other people go through it. And so there's a lot of familiarity baked in there. And that familiarity, that sense that people know what they're doing, they know what the next step is, or I know what the next step is in this ritual, is a way to mitigate the discomfort of uncertainty. All right, so how does this apply? Well, you can talk to your brain a thousand ways a Sunday and try to convince it and argue with yourself about doing the thing that you intellectually know you need to do, but it's not an intellectual problem. You can't rationalize your way out of a feeling. If you have a feeling of discomfort around some new action that you're trying to take, that discomfort is probably associated with uncertainty. And we don't like uncertainty pretty much as a rule. Uncertainty for much of human history meant mostly bad stuff. It meant there's a saber-toothed tiger hiding in the bushes, or the the berries are poisoned, or that tribe that's coming over the hill could be a raiding party, that sort of thing. So uncertainty generally creates discomfort. So how do we can't rationalize our way out of that. It's just the nature of the world. It's the way things are put together. Here's one thing you can do. Design a ritual for yourself. So I'll give you an example that's certainly successful for myself. That would be something like, the pre-workout ritual. Now, obviously, working out at this point is not an uncertain territory for me. It's a place where I feel very at home. But that doesn't mean I don't have a ritual. It's something like changing into your workout clothes. It's something like, turning on whatever podcast it is that you listen to while you're working out. And this is another reason I tend to suggest that you have certain books, audiobooks, or certain podcasts, or certain music that you listen to when you work out that you don't tend to listen to when doing other things, because it helps to create this sense of you're entering into a different space. You know this space, it's a familiar space, but it's also a space that is anchored to the activity that you're trying to get yourself to do. Okay, so I've got workout clothes on, I've got my earbuds in, I've got my workout podcasts going, I get the shoes on, I go into the workout space, and if you're working out in your living room, this can be one of the hurdles. You don't have a particular space that you associate with working out. So even if you work out at home, it's nice to have a place in your home that you always do your workout, because you can associate it with that. Okay, so there's a ritual, and I tend to go through these in more or less the same order. And by the time I'm ready to start picking up heavy things or exerting myself, there is so much momentum pushing me in that direction that at that point, if I have to stop, it feels like I'm already halfway through my workout and I have to abort it. It's uncomfortable to have to stop at that point. Okay, so let's take a different example. If, let's say, I have a client who is trying to transition to being an entrepreneur, away from a lifetime of being an employee, and this person has to start making sales calls, and they have no history of making sales calls, of talking to people in a sort of sales context. So it's very uncomfortable because there's a ton of uncertainty there. What if the person says no? What if they just hang up on me? What if they say yes, which might be the scariest of all the possible outcomes, even though that's the one that you're nominally trying to achieve? Well, one thing that this person could do would be to start building a ritual, a pre-sales call ritual, a ritual that gets them into that headspace and that becomes familiar to them, so that the uncertainty associated with the call no longer feels uncertain. It feels like the natural conclusion of the steps that have led up to it. Ritual: sit down in the sales chair. Got to have a sales chair for it. Maybe you put on a certain pair of glasses. Maybe you get a certain pad of paper and pen or something that you're going to use to write down any important information. Okay, maybe who knows? Maybe you turn around in circles 3 times before you sit down. Something that you don't normally do, and something that you don't, that doesn't naturally appear in your daily life, because you want to associate that action specifically with what's coming next, which is picking up the phone. Maybe the first time, all you can do is pick up the phone and dial 1 or 2 numbers on it before you hang it up, and you say, okay, I made some progress. That's enough for right now. Maybe you try it again and you get a few more numbers in. You run the ritual, you engage the initial stages of the behavior, and before long, the initial stages will lead further and further down that path to the point where now you've typed in all the numbers and the only thing left to do is push the call button. Go through that a few times if you have to. Go through it a few times if you have to. You're building the associations and the certainty that comes with them. And in the end, one of these times, you're going to push the call button. And once you've done it once and the world doesn't fall apart and you say, good on me, I actually did it. Wow, nice work to yourself. Well, there you go. You've taken action. And did it take a little while? Yes, it did. But it didn't take as long as it would have if you hadn't made the concerted effort, if you hadn't put in the time to design a ritual, a pre-sales call ritual in this instant. So the question is, would you rather feel like a fool for a little bit of time and then start doing the desired action, or avoid feeling like a fool in the short term so that you can feel foolish for the rest of your life that you never did the thing that you needed to do to see if you could make it, to take your shot? Okay, I hope that that's helpful to some of you. Please check out the courses down below. All of the current courses are very fitness focused, but we just passed 100 5-star reviews on them, so I'm pretty jazzed about that. I think people are really enjoying them. You can check those all out below. For everyone who supports the channels in all the ways that I'm sure you already know about that I don't need to explicitly state for you, I really appreciate every single one of you and anyone who took the time to watch this. I really do hope that it helped. Thank you so much. You have a great day.